Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Drums and Drams. My name's Cameron, and today we're gonna be spinning the wheel to find out which whiskey, released in 2025, I'm gonna be blindly reviewing in today's video. So what we have here is a box full of blind samples. These are all of the releases I've got my hands on so far in 2025, divided into batched products and single barrels. Now, before we go on, I do need to say a humongous thank you to my incredibly generous wife, Sarah, for not only mixing these samples up, but she actually went through and labeled each individual blind sample with a random alphanumeric code. She then plugged all of those codes into a spreadsheet with the corresponding bottle answers, and that spreadsheet is actually available for all of my Patreon subscribers as kind of a cool little perk. Now, after the spreadsheet, it did take a little bit of twisting her arm, but I convinced her to make me these reveal cards, so it's a black note card within a black envelope for every single sample in this box, so that if I'm filming a video like this, or maybe I'm doing one of these blind reviews on a live stream, I can do the reveal to myself at the end without pulling up the spreadsheet and maybe inadvertently seeing the answer to some other blind sample, that's in the spreadsheet as well. And finally, at the end of all of that, we took the random alphanumeric codes, we plugged them into these spin the wheel randomizers. I've got two of them, one for the batched products, one for the single barrels. It just gives me a little bit more control over what I'm filming at any given time. And these randomizers are what I'm gonna be using in these videos to help me select which blind sample I'm gonna be taking a look at. Now, the goal of these videos, it's not to try to guess what's in my glass. I do that in a different series here on the channel called What's That Whiskey? It's purely for a blind review and a rating out of 100 at the end of that review. That way I can get like fully unbiased, honest reviews of relevant and recent products on the market. So I think this is gonna be a great thing for the channel. It's gonna be, pre-recorded. Some of these will be on live streams and everything in between. And last but not least, I know a lot of explanation at the beginning of this video, I know, but I figured first video of its kind, it deserves a little explanation, and it won't be this way for all of these videos. But the last thing I need to say is that I kind of stole the spin the wheel randomizer idea from another whiskey tuber, Peter Fasciano from Whiskey is a Journey. If you haven't checked out his channel, go check it out. Great dude, great palate, great production. And if you like what you see, you should absolutely subscribe. But he uses this little randomizer for some of his videos, and I got the idea from him. So shout out Peter with a great channel over there, Whiskey is a Journey. So now let's spin the wheel and find out which sample I'm gonna be blindly taking a look at in today's video. Oh, the sound effects aren't on. All right, B25, which means batched product from 2025, 8840. So let me grab that sample, let me grab the corresponding reveal card, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, so I've got sample B258840 poured out. It's in the glass, it's a fairly dark whiskey. You've already seen the thumbnail, you know what this is, but I will put it up on the screen again as a reminder in just a second. But let's go to the nose now and see what we get. Wow, so this whiskey smells absolutely incredible, and I've gotta say, this is a great way to kick off this new series here on the channel. So the first thing that I'm reminded of, and I know this is gonna be high praise, is Russell's 15. This has a lot of similar characteristics, not only as far as the dusty, vintage, antique, oak and leather notes go, but also with the dark fruit qualities that I'm getting. I get those same kind of like mixed berry and dark cherry notes that I find on Russell's 15, with that same kind of like syrupy richness and that almost bittersweet concentration of those notes. And so, like, just right off the first nosing, when I smell this, it's not a question of like, oh man, do I like this? Do I need to spend more time with it to figure it out? No, this checks so many boxes right away. It has complexity, it has seemingly good age to it. And if it doesn't have good age to it, then I wanna know what they're doing to this stuff, because it just smells great. It's dark, it's oaky, it's rich, and it hits all of those things that I think many of us are looking for in a really, really high quality whiskey. So let's go back to the nose one more time, and then we're gonna go to the palate. All right, so in addition to all of those really dark, concentrated notes that I just talked about, this whiskey also shows quite a bit of spice. So there's kind of like this generic white pepper, oak spice that is almost disproportionate when you compare it to how dark and how rich the other parts of the profile feel. But there's also kind of like this Dr. Pepper spice in there too. So you get a little bit of this exotic kind of aromatic, bittersweet Dr. Pepper spice, along with this more generic, kind of like menthol, crawl up your nose sort of white pepper oak spice. Now, just beneath that, I do pick up something that kind of reminds me of like an aged Barton bourbon, where I'm getting a little banana cream and a little bit of like a furniture polish or almost slightly varnishy kind of note. So great complexity, It's got a lot of layers to it. It just smells like great old whiskey. And on the nose, I mean, this is like an A++. It smells wonderful. So let's go to the palate now. Cheers. Oh my goodness, guys, listen. This whiskey is ridiculously good. I'm grinning ear to ear. I've got goosebumps. That first sip for me is exactly what I want a top tier whiskey to taste like. So right away, you're hit with all of that spice that I talked about on the nose. It is a very spicy whiskey up front. Dr. Pepper spice, that kind of like oak spice, white pepper thing. Like it hits you pretty hard, but very quickly it transitions to all of those like bittersweet dark fruit notes. But as it makes its way to the mid palate, when you would expect a lot of that like heavy spice and those darker fruits to ramp up, actually what happens is that this becomes a vanilla cream bomb. And for me, because vanilla cream is pretty much my favorite, highly aged whiskey note, this is amazing because I love the way that it transitions. It becomes extremely sweet, extremely decadent. I do think for some folks, it might throw them off a little bit because it's not really what you would expect from the nose. You don't find that much, vanilla cream and that much sweetness on the nose of this. So it is a little, let's just use the word disjunct, although that sounds a little harsh, but it is a little misleading, let's say, from nose to palate. But for me, I like both of those experiences in their own ways, for different reasons. But it is just like this vanilla cream monster of a whiskey in the mid palate. And as you get into the finish, that's where you get a return of those dark fruit notes and a really big dose of that like furniture polish, heavy, antique kind of oak. That's really what lingers in the finish. So it's got a lot of fruit, it's got a lot of oak, and now on the palate, it's got a ton of sweetness. That vanilla cream is just decadent and rich. So I'm gonna do one more sip, but this whiskey for me, like I'm in like 92, 93, 94 territory as far as my rating goes. Let's do one more sip and see if it holds up on a second sip, or maybe this thing is gonna go a little bit flat. I'm gonna be interested to see how the spice, maintains itself, or maybe it doesn't on the second sip. Okay, so on that second sip, things did change a little bit for this whiskey. It didn't really lose much of its spice, maybe like 10, 15%, but that's to be expected when you're taking multiple sips of the same product. It's naturally gonna get just a little bit easier to drink from sip to sip. So I think it did maintain its intensity and its punch up front. But what did change for me was that mid-palate vanilla cream kind of profile. On the second sip, I got a lot more of those dark fruit notes, a lot more oak, and a little bit more of like a tannic profile overall. And I think those are the qualities that build on this whiskey from sip to sip. It's the dark fruits, it's the slightly more bittersweet aspect of the profile, and again, more of that kind of like oak tannin thing that you're left with in the finish. Now, it's not enough for me to kind of be harsh on this whiskey. Like I don't really find many complaints with this. It's a great product. Like I think for me, right now, I would say this is like a 93 out of 100 kind of whiskey. I really think this is just spectacular stuff. If people are paying up to $500, like on secondary or something, I could see a $500 price tag for this whiskey. And I know that's not something I want to do. I don't want to pay $500 for it. But as far as like where I see this falling, along with Russell's 15 and other comparable products, if people are paying $500 for this, I think there's a lot worse. There's a lot worse stuff you could buy for $500, and this is a great bottle. So I have no idea what it is, but I'm giving it a 93 out of 100. Let's find out together. I mean, I guess you guys already know, but I love this stuff. Whatever it is, it's got that like aged Barton kind of profile that I really, really like. So let's see. Well, this is great. Listen, this is a great way to start this series because I wanted to review this bottle like ASAP. Calumet Farm 18. There you go. Listen, it is aged Barton. I wasn't trying to guess what it was necessarily, but it just stood out to me. This is fantastic. And yeah, I mean, listen, I said $500 is a price point I could understandably see for this product. I think I stand by that. I think this is really, really solid stuff. The only complaint from me, blind and unblind, and I didn't really talk about it too much here because I didn't want to focus too much on what I wanted this whiskey to be when I didn't even know what I had in my glass. But the only complaint I've had about this is that it feels like it's got a lot of spice to it and it could use some more heft. Like it is a concentrated profile. It does have a lot of richness, but it still feels like it could use a little bit more of a of a broad profile, or maybe just like a viscosity to it, I guess. And maybe that's because they proofed these, these barrels down to 118. I think 118 is the proof of this. But at the end of the day, I think this is in the conversation for whiskey of the year this year. As far as batched products, batched products go, I don't think you're gonna find, at least right now, when I'm filming this at the end of May, I don't think you're gonna find anything else on the market, no matter the price point, that is really competing with this stuff. Calumet Farm 18, amazing whiskey, a fun first blind review here on the channel. Let me know what you guys think. 93 out of 100. I think that's what I've scored this unblind as well. I think I've said like 92 or 93. So good consistency here, and a really fun review. So cheers, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon, and we've got some more blind reviews on the way. I'll see you guys soon here on Drums and Drams.